A quick tour of my backyard. We start by going out the back door, but before we go out, here's rabbit control. We step out and we first see a volunteer planter full of petunias that are coming. We look over to the left to the deck and see some hibiscus and some beautiful herbs coming. Some geraniums that are going to be planted later. Here's some more herbs. The hanging baskets. Recently been planted. They're coming along. The citrus trees we had in the house that may not make it. Some sage plants. Some more petunias and other things. Beautiful rosemary plant. Some more sage, and these are the garden vegetables that haven't been planted yet. Still waiting their turn. A little bit of basil there. Coming around to the left of my back door, if we go by the picnic table, here's all the flowers yet to be planted. And we'll do a quick tour of some of my herbs. Beautiful thyme plants. Gorgeous. Little lemon balm here and there. And we've got a few new herbs, a lemon thyme and an old thyme plant I had on the windowsill, some sage. And then we start in with some of my potted tomato plants. And get better light on that. Sunshine's really giving us a problem here. That's a potted set of pepper plants. And here we've got a beautiful tarragon bush. Practically, let me back up so you get a good look at that. Now we're going to start in with a fruit tour. Here's the rhubarb, of course. You got to have rhubarb in the Midwest. And then there's the blackberries. Notice the blackberries already in bloom. They're getting ready to produce some good berries for us. Okay. Stray sage plant sitting there. While we go by, here's some ornamental grasses that kind of liven things up. Here's my cherry tree on the side of the house. This guy's probably going to have to go. It's too big a tree for this spot. Give you an idea of what that looks like. But let me show you why I hate to cut it down. Okay. This is a sweet cherry tree. They're not very sweet, but they're sweet enough to eat. And here's my sour cherry tree. It doesn't produce much yet. I'm going to have to work on it to see if I can get it producing better, but there's a few cherries on here if I get them before the birds do. Just show you one, just to prove a point here. There are cherries here. See if I can get this one on camera. There it is. Beautiful little cherry coming there. Okay, coming around. If you're keeping count, here's some raspberries. My raspberry bushes. They'll produce not a great volume, but enough for us to have a few snacks or a dessert here and there with those. Lovely raspberry bushes. And I'm kind of big on potted vegetables. They worked really well last year, so that's a tomatillo that's coming along. This is my strawberry bed that I had to replant, and it's pretty devastated, but I think it's going to come back. Potted tomato. This is my pride and joy right here. Back up and give you a good view. These are my potatoes. I planted these from the scrubby, crummy little potatoes that were on the steps that we hadn't eaten. And I just put them in the ground and they grew like crazy. Here's some potted eggplant that just got put in the pot, and I wasn't sure it was going to make it, but it's looking good today. There's another little tomatillo. Notice he's in there with some volunteer pansies and stuff. These are my leeks from last year. They overwintered, and then I spread them out a little bit to give them a little more room to grow. And in here we're going to have garlic and shallots. They're not up yet. And this is my bed that I planted, seed bed planted just about a week ago, and it hasn't sprouted yet. This is going to be carrots and beets, some beans in there, a thing or two that I'm forgetting. These are my tomato plants. They're doing really well. Check this guy out. Got some nice blooms on them already. Happy about that. Yeah, they're all starting to bloom. You can see they all have little blooms on them. You can also see I need to do a little weeding. And in the center, I've got some squash. Looking forward to that. That should be good. Summer squash. Now, if you're counting fruit, check this out. Okay, beautiful. It's a small little bed. It's just kind of the corner of my garden here. I'm going to step back and give you the long view of my garden in a second, but a little triangular bed with blueberry plants, and notice they're coming nice. There's another potted tomato. I found some celery in the one of the garden centers. Menard's Garden Center had celery. Look at how beautiful that is. Hope the rabbits don't eat it. Okay, so coming around the yard some more. Keep counting the fruit. Okay, check this guy out. This is the back of the lot. So, you may not recognize that tree, but when I get in close and show you what's on it, I think you'll recognize it. Okay, so that's a plum tree. This one always blasts almost all its fruit. I get half a dozen or so, but maybe this year I'll get more. I'm always hopeful. Check out this bed. This has been years in the making. It's my asparagus. We've already eaten probably just about all we're going to get out of there. I might do one more cutting, but we've eaten a lot of asparagus this spring. It's great because it's such an early vegetable. Coming around, this is the anchor of the corner of my lot. And you can see I've got little bird baths hidden in here to keep the birds in the yard to eat the bugs. Here's my pride and joy. I think everything's my pride and joy, but this is another one of my pride and joy. Check these guys out. Get in close so you can see the fuzz. Here's one of my peach trees. This is my lesser peach tree. It has tasty peaches, and it produces moderately well. But this tree next to it produces heavily, so heavily that I have to cull it, and it's hard for me to cull as much as I need to, because the peaches are so delicious. But look at the peaches on this tree. This tree is going to really produce this year, and I'm really pleased because I was afraid I almost killed it last year because it had, or 2 years ago maybe, I forget which, but it had so many peaches on it it broke itself down practically. Here I'm culling. See, there's proof I can cull if I need to. Okay, so that's the peach tree. And coming around, finishing off, coming back to the deck, check out the show these guys are putting out. This is my ever-expanding collection of chives. I love chives, can never have enough, so I keep splitting them and moving them, and I think I have enough now. What do you think? And then stuck in some little corners, you can see I've got strawberries. Notice, if I get in here close, you'll see there's some berries on there. Okay. And coming around, there's just a few more herbs here. I forget what this one is. I think it's, that's a rosemary there, and that's a new one, so I've forgotten what it is already. And of course, a few flowers, Shasta daisies and things. So that's my yard. The end.